evening. We have an update on the debacle between the bricks and minifigs and the original owner of the Star Wars collection. Well, the first of the big and best news and the ordeal between these two people, the CEO, excuse me, let's do it this way, the CEO on the end, that's the CEO of BAM, Bricks and Mini People, and this fellow is the original owner of the Star Wars collection in question. The one of the good news of this evening is guess who got fired? The owner who took over the store from the people that left, who originally took the commission from him. Well, he's the one who kicked him out of the store, kicked him out of the store, and took over. This owner, who's Mister Big Bed and tough on the phone, and not so much so in front of police cameras. But anyhow, he got fired primarily because of a PR stunt, but PR move. But his inability and his poor handling of this whole ordeal has brought quite a taint to the whole company. And the best way to start with getting rid of taint is get rid of the tainter or the taintee or the source of the taint. So he's gone. He's bye-bye. They said, we're tired of your crap. We're tired of what you're, how you are making the company look, and you are costing us money. Okay. Now, the other bit of news is the owner, or again, CEO, sorry, has put out a olive branch to the Star Wars collection owner saying, let's seriously talk. The CEO says he's done some more research on his end. He said that the previous owners who originally had the concession set up with this fellow, well, one should not have done a concession of that size, which is against corporate policy, and that they also should have had insurance on a concession assignment of that size. So, two valid points. Take a concession for $20, $50. That's one thing. $200,000. That's another. Which also is another point we're just going to move on to. Is the CEO will acknowledge a value of about 95 to 100,000 K on the value of his Star Wars collection kit, which is actually more accurate and closer to what he actually said to begin with. It's just it got bumped up to 200,000 K because that sounds better. It's more attractive, I guess. I don't know, but originally he said it was valued at around 95 to 100K, and the CEO is willing to negotiate around that price line. And the CEO is also willing to drop the lawsuit on him. Please note, we'll come back to it, but it mentions him only. Okay. They're willing to meet at any time and get him back whatever's left of his collection. That's not the best way to put it, but that's what they're going to do. Plus, also, give him any and all Star Wars kits, Legos that are still in, from the inventory from that store, the Oregon store, which is now going to be permanently closed. They're just burying that stink and walking away from the whole thing, but trying to make themselves look like it's, smiley, happy people that the company is supposed to be, the bricks and minifigs store. But which is a step should have been done, the attitude they should have taken right off the bat. But again, the CEO says that he's done some more looking into it, and they're blaming a lot back on his poor takeover of the store and his poor behavior. But they're also putting a lot of the actual blame of the financial issue and the Legos on the owners before him, and the ones that he originally did the concession with, the ones that said bye-bye on the franchise and left the States. He's the CEO is saying that he's suing them, and that a lot of the problems came from them. He's basically blaming them. Blame the one who's not in the room, which means never leave the room. But he has a lawsuit against them. So, and he didn't mention anything about dropping it. And he also mentioned, and it's kind of a risky thing to say in a press release, but he said they were running multiple books, at least 3 books on their accounting. Now, that could be perfectly legit for some reasons, and sometimes, one could be books of actual sales, and one's a book of projected sales, or what they wanted to go sales, projected sales. Or it could be you show one set of books to one people, you said another set of books to another person, and you show another person yet a different set of books, which is illegal. Not sure, don't know which one it is. He didn't say the saying they're running multiple books, which, draws some eyes. So, anyhow, back to the people not mentioned in the lawsuit. Good old Reckless is not mentioned on his name not being dropped in the lawsuit. He did not say a word about dropping the lawsuit against Reckless. So that's probably still going or gonna go, but that's gonna be some more news on depending on how that happens. And again, he also didn't mention in the lawsuit the previous owners prior to him on being excluded from this deal that he's made between two of them, or the negotiations he's offering between the two of them. It is kind of interesting that the CEO, who just days ago, put out the notice that he hired, the Dewey Cheatham and Howe law firm, the incredibly huge and incredibly expensive law firm, which would have cost them, probably did cost them several $1,000s. We're talking about $5,000-$10,000 just to write that letter. That after meeting with them and having this letter written, this writ of letter, that he's now taking this position of offering, let's meet, let's talk, let's negotiate, and we'll do it honestly. And we apologize for any problems that may have happened. So something happened. Something happened in between those two. We'll see. There'll be more news on this. I just want to do a quick update on the evening that this dude's fired, and there's let's break bread together. Let's negotiate what you think's a fair deal, and we'll get all the Legos back we can to you, and we apologize. Also, they are saying that could have been handled better in the first place, and now, being a CEO of BAM, I am making it right. Okay, had opportunities before to make it right. We need to do that, but anyways, that's it for this evening, people. There'll be more breaking, more about what's been going on these other things. But yeah, just for tonight, that's the big news. He's fired, and these two are going to talk seriously about getting the guy's money back, or agreed upon monies, not the 200,000, but the more realistic around 100,000 price tag, which is what he originally said that it was actually worth. But I want to repeat. That's a recap. So have a good evening, everybody, and
That's the missing link.